Hello everyone, in today's tutorial we'll see how to create an awesome double exposure animation or Cinemagraph using Adobe Photoshop. Alright, so let's get to it. Alright, so let's go ahead and open Photoshop and then take the image you will be using, or you can use the same image I will be using in here. You'll find it down in the link from the description below. And now the first thing that we are going to do is to cut the model from the background. So I will be using the quick selection tool to do that, and I will try to make a selection. It should be easy because we have a white background, so just try to cover all the areas in here. Alright, and now I'm gonna open the select and mask, and I will try to improve the hair selection. As you can see, we don't have a really good selection for the hair, so I will be using the refined edge to do that. But first I will make sure that smart radius is on, and I will try to improve the hair selection, or bring back some of the hair that we didn't select. Alright, and I will do the same for the beard. Alright, now in this radius in here I will put around 40 pixels to 30, and this will improve it even more, and I will press OK. Alright, now we'll apply a layer mask on this selection by one click on this layer mask icon, and as you can see we have a layer mask in here. Now I'm gonna press Alt or Option, and I will one click on this layer mask, and this will allow me to enter the layer mask mode. And as you can see we still have some gray in here and a little bit of dark areas inside the white area in here, which is our selection. Alright, so we need to get rid of this grayness in here that we have using the dodge tool and the burn tool. So I will switch to my burn tool in here, and in the range I will put shadow, and for the exposure I will put around 40 to 50%, and I will start getting rid of this gray areas in here, as you can see, just like this. And I will do the same in here. I'll try to find all this area that is gray in here. Alright, now I will switch to the dodge tool, and I will do the same, but this time I will make sure that the range set to highlights and the exposure set to 50 to 40%. And I will go this time to the white area in here, and I will get rid of this gray areas that we have. Alright, now I think that we have a decent selection, which is always good. And now we can exit from the layer mask by one click on this layer in here. And now we have our selection. Alright, now I'm gonna create a new file. So I will go to File, New, and I will put 1920 for the width, 1080 for the height, 300 in the resolution, and RGB in the color mode. And of course you can choose whatever width and height you want. You can do that. And I will press OK. Alright, now I will switch to my move tool, and then I will go and drag this image and open it in here. Alright, now we'll zoom out, and I will press Ctrl T or Command T, and then I'm gonna press Shift Alt or Shift Option on a Mac, and I will drag it down so it will fit with the canvas, and I will put it down a little bit so the shoulder will match, and I will make it a little bit bigger. I will center it just right here, and then I will one click on this check mark. Alright, now I'm gonna create a new background, so I will select this background in here that it's white, and I will go to adjustment, and I will choose solid color, and I will be using a gray color, or maybe I will add a little bit of color to it, maybe a bluish color. I think blue, it will be good. Well, just a little bit of blue, not blue, so I'm gonna keep it like that, and I will press OK. Alright, and I will delete this old background. Alright, now I'm gonna open the video file that I will be using, which is this one, and of course you can find it down in the link from description below. just download this if you want to follow along. And I will just take it and open it in here, and it will open as a smart object, and that's what we want. So I'm gonna one click on this check mark to commit the change, and then I'm gonna copy the same layer mask that we have in this one. So to do that, I will press Alt or Option on my keyboard, and then I will hover above this layer mask, and I will one click on it and drag it to this video file that we have in here. And as you can see, there is a little bit of preview of the layer mask, which is mean that we're gonna make a copy of it. And I will just let's go, and there we go, we have the same layer mask applied on this video file too. Now I'm gonna unlink this chain that we have in between the video file in here and the layer mask. So I will just one click on this chain and it will disappear, which is mean that there is no link anymore. Now the reason why we did this, so we can adjust or move this video file alone, and we can do the same for the layer mask, but we want to do it for this video file. So I'm gonna select it, and I will press Ctrl T or Command T, and I will make it bigger. As you can see, we have this road that I want it to be aligned with the shoulder of the model, and also with the neck. So I'm gonna rotate it just a little bit, and I will try to do that. Maybe I will make it bigger. As you can see, I want it to be just like this. Maybe I will rotate it even more, and of course you can use whatever video you want or whatever position you want for this video. But if you want to use the same as I'm using, with the same idea I'm doing now, you can do that. Alright, I think this will look good. So now we'll one click on this check mark to commit the change. Alright, now I'm gonna make a copy of this model layer in here, again by pressing Alt or Option. I will take a copy of it and put it on top, and then I will change the blending mode of it to lighten. Alright, now I need to delete this part so we can see the road that we just adjusted. So to do that, we're gonna use a brush, a regular brush, and black as my foreground color, and also I'm gonna make the opacity of the brush to around 25%. Alright, and I will make sure that I'm selecting the layer mask, and I will start deleting in here so we can see the road. It's all about the road. Alright, so something like that, and I believe there is an ear in here, so let's see if we keep it visible, so the road will look like it's going inside our ears. That will be interesting, so I'm gonna do that. I really like this idea of the road going through the ear, so yeah. Alright, now I want the eye of the model to be visible. So to do that, we're gonna go back to the video file, and then I will select the layer mask of it, and again I will be using the same method. So I will delete using a black color. So I'm just gonna delete this part so you can see the eye of the model, and from the nose in here. And I think I want the beard to be black, so it will match with the forest that we have in here. Yeah, something like this. It will looks interesting. Alright, now I think I would go back to the first layer in here, and I will delete even more from this part. Yeah, something like that. Alright. Now let's go back to the video file, and again I will select the layer mask, and I will just hide this house that we just revealed in here. Alright, so one last thing that I'm going to do is to add a little bit of adjustment, and also I want to add something in the background. So I'm gonna use the same video file that I have in here. I will add it in the background and I'm gonna blur it and make it black and white. So I'm gonna make a copy of the video file by pressing Alt or Option again, and then I'm gonna drag it under this model layer that we have in here, and I will delete the layer mask because I want it to be the whole video in here. So I'm gonna right click above the layer mask and choose delete layer mask, and as you can see we have the whole video. Now I will go to image adjustment and I'm gonna choose black and white, and you know, because it's a smart object, I can apply the adjustment in it as a smart filter. Alright, now we have it black and white. Alright, now I'm gonna add the blur to it. So we'll go to filter and I will choose blur, Gaussian blur, and I will add around 7 to 10 radius pixel. So I'm gonna keep it 9 and I will press OK. And then I will change the blending mode of it to soft light, and I will reduce the opacity to around 50%. And you can also go back to the background that we have in here, and you know, because it's a solid color, you can just double click on it and change the color to whatever you want. If you want to add more color to it, or you know, make it brighter, I think it would be interesting to add a little bit of color to it, or even make it darker, as you can see. Yeah, I think this looks really good, and the is okay. Alright, now I will add a level adjustment. So I will select this first layer and I will go to adjustment and I will choose level adjustment, and then I will go to the RGB in here and I will choose red, and I will add a little bit of colors from this slider that we have in here. So just a little bit, and I will go to the blue channel and I will do the same. Let's add a little bit of colors just like this. I think it looks really interesting. Alright, now it's time for us to animate this. So I'm gonna open the timeline in here. If you can't find it, just go to window and choose timeline. Alright, now I will one click on this tiny create video timeline, and this will create it. But as you can see, the video is way longer than the other file, except for this level adjustment, which is following the duration of the video. So we can easily change that by just crop it like this. But we're not gonna do the same for the video in here. We're gonna adjust it alone because it's a smart object. So we're gonna open it by double click on it like this, and as you can see, it will open in a new tab. And I also want to make it loop seamlessly. So this is the right way to do it, to open it in a new tab and then adjust it to whatever you want and then save it, because it's a smart object. And also the video I'm using, as you can see, it will start from the morning and then it will end in night. And because it's longer than 5 seconds, if I just use this first part, you can't see the night part, and I want that. So I'm gonna start it from here. Yeah, I think just right about here. So I will just crop this part like this, and then I will go to the time in here and I will double click on it and I will put 5 seconds, and we just, to be precise, it's 5 seconds like this, and I will press OK. Now I will crop it again like that, and now we have 5 seconds, but it won't loop seamlessly. We need to do that. So first As you can see, we have it in here in a video group. So I'm gonna right click on it and choose ungroup layers. So we have only the video in here. And then I'm gonna create a copy of this video layer by dragging it to the new layer icon. And now I'm gonna select this copy that we just created, and I will go just right about the middle, just right about here, and I will cut it. And now we have two parts. So now we know that the last frame of this part will match the first frame of this part. So I'm gonna select this part and put it to start from the beginning. And I will do the same for this second part. It will start from the end. And then I will go to the middle of this part, just right about here. And I will crop it, just like that. And I will do the same for this other part in here. I will go just right about the middle and I will crop it. And now I'm going to add a fade transition in the end of this part and a fade transition in the beginning of this part. So I will go to this transition icon and I will take this fade and I will drag it to the end of this part, and I will do the same for the beginning of this part. And now if I preview it by one click on this play button, you can see it will loop seamlessly, as you can see. Alright, now I will close this tab and I will make sure to press yes to save the changes in the smart object. And now we have the time matching with every layer in here. So let me put the time to 5 seconds, and now we can preview it and see it in action. And as you can see, it looks really good. So now it's time for us to save it. So we'll see how to save it as a GIF or a GIF format, and we're gonna also see how to save it as a video, so in case you want to publish it on Instagram. And of course we know that Instagram doesn't allow a GIF format, so we're gonna do that. So let me stop this, and then I will go to File, Export, and I will choose Save for Web Legacy. So we're gonna see how to save it as a GIF or a GIF format. So we're gonna wait for it to progress. Alright, so it's finished progressing. Now as you can see, it's a really large file, and if we save it like this, it will be around 53 megabytes, which is really not good for the web. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to put down the size of it to 600, and I will one click outside of it to apply my changes. And again, I will wait for it to progress, as you can see. Alright, as you can see, it's already smaller for the web. So the preset that I'm using here is, of course, you need to choose a GIF format or GIF format. And for the color algorithm, I have in here perceptual selected and diffusion in the second one. And just uncheck transparency because we don't have any transparency in here. And for the colors, it's actually up to you. If you want to use 128, the size will be reduced, but also the colors will be reduced. For me, I keep it to 156 because I have a lot of colors in here and I want it to be in a really good color setting. And for the dither, I put 100% and white in the matte, and in the web snap 0%. And for the lossy, you can put around 10 to 20. So I think I'm gonna put about 20, and you know, just keep everything else the same and click save, and give it a name. So I'm gonna name it busy exposure, and I will click save. Alright, now let's go and preview the GIF that we just created. So I will open it, and there we go, we have a really good GIF format that is ready for the web. Alright, now let's see how to render it as a video. So again, I will head to File, Export, and I'm gonna choose Render Video. And I will give it a name first, so I'm gonna name it Busy Exposure again. And just select a folder. So I'm gonna select the same folder in here. And for the format I'm using is H264. I think it's the best one. And the presets, of course, high quality. You can change it to medium if you want the size to be reduced, and just keep everything in here the same and click render. And again, we're gonna wait for it to progress. Alright, now let's go and see our video, which is this one. So let's play it. And there we go, we have a really good double exposure animation that is ready for Instagram. But seriously, follow me on Instagram. Alright, so I hope that you enjoyed and you like this tutorial and it was a little bit helpful for you. Don't forget to subscribe and comment, and let me know if you try this effect. I would love to see your result, and have a nice day. Thank you for watching.